Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Eliali in this incarnation. Well, tomorrow, November 30, the moon enters in Sagittarius, and we are preparing for the lunation. In some places, it is tomorrow, and in some other, like here in Argentina, we have the new moon in December 1st. So, because of many things that I've been explaining in the last videos, the energy is proposing to us to observe the path that brought us here to till this point, and also the situations. This involves the situations and imbalances that we need to rectificate because of the presence of Saturn in Pisces, in order to start again, or in order to create a new beginning in the area Sagittarius of our natal chart. So also it is a good time to observe the voids, this sense of emptiness. The moon is still in Scorpio right now, in order to detect if there are excesses or mechanisms that are operating as an escapism. It is not the same to travel. Foreign traveling is something very associated with Sagittarius, to travel with a purpose, than not doing that, than traveling and trying to escape from our own reality. And the same, it is linked with the focuses of the mind with Mercury retrograde. We can be thinking of a person with the desire of relating with that person, but that can occur from a place where we want that relationship, because we want that the relationship can generate joy and plenitude, because there are conflicts in our reality that we don't want to deal with. We can do that, or we can approach our own path, cultivating what makes us growth, cultivating enjoyment in that process too, opening ourselves to share with a soul with whom we can resonate. So it is different. And of course, the intention from which this is coming will bring certain manifestations in the material reality, or will invoke a certain inner state that will help us or not to flow with life. So the emptiness, the voids, in some way, we feel them again in certain phases of the path. I think the way that we are perceiving them is muting while we move forward, while we evolve, because it is that same void, the one that impulses the soul to seek for light. And that light, that information that comes in the right time, when we are prepared to receive it, it is the information that also gives sense to the experience and allows us to understand the reality in a greater way, with more, I don't know the word in English, but okay, it is important to remember that the void has also a purpose, and we are the ones that we are going to choose what we do with that void. And based on those decisions, we are going to produce or not the spiritual evolution. And from a higher view, a more elevated perspective, those mechanisms that lead us to wanting to cover the voids, we all experienced them in some level, sometime, at least once in our lives. And I can assure that more than once, but going through that experience, it is also part of discovering that in the end, they don't bring a genuine satisfaction. In fact, they derive on the contrary when we are sustaining the imbalance in time. And it is that consequence, a necessary experience to stop perpetuating those mechanisms if we want to. So there is nowhere to run, and we cannot run because everywhere we go, everything we do, life will reflect what we are sustaining inside. So this happens with the collective events in relation with the individual acts. But there is also this phase of transition as the one we are going through right now as a planet, as humanity. And this planetary transition involves a greater movement. I mean, this requires different processes of time in comparison to our individual lives, of course. And no matter what, these phases of transition, both collective or individual, we have to learn through them to follow our soul without caring if we are not seeing immediate results, like tangible results. I'm going to put a very tiny example in a micro level. Because, for example, a person could change his or her habits for, for their health, because of their health. And clearly, it is not going to be an immediate result on the other day that the person initiated that process. But the person could feel like the well-being of being in coherence with himself or herself, and, to put that in practice. And this can apply to projects of life and the things that we came here to create. And they could delay or last years, the results. And beyond that, inevitably, there will be challenges because they invite us to grow. And also, we need to put a practice of dedication and perseverance, which are qualities of Saturn. When we are doing something in the material reality that has true connection with the divine purpose of the soul, the process is much more fluid than when our energy is put in somewhere else. Because in some way, when we are doing something that it is not part of the sense of the soul, we are battling with ourselves to move forward, which at last creates this loss of sense. And from the perspective of the totality, this is also part of the experience of discovering ourselves. So, well, family, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.